welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Taylor, and I love teaching women about therapeutic peptides and how to optimize their hormones and how to live a insulin-controlled lifestyle. So if you're new here, please do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Also, too, if you're new, you can check out the description below where you can find my link tree where you can download the free women's peptide cheat sheet. Check out how to get on my email list and how to find all of my courses and private programs that I offer to women. So now that we finished that admin stuff up, let's talk about this video today. I'm going to be ranking 5 different growth hormone releasing peptides, and I'm going to be ranking these peptides of what I think are the best for women, and I'm going to be ranking them with my favorite down to my least favorite. So I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion of these, the benefits that I've seen with them in incorporating these peptides into my life, and how they have changed so many women that I have worked with. So with that being said, let's get into this. Ranking with our first peptide, we are going to start off with, and I have talked a lot about this peptide, and this peptide is honestly one of my top 5 favorite peptides, but the peptide Ipamorelin is ranking in at number 1 for my growth hormone producing peptide. So Ipamorelin helps so much with so many different things. It is going to be the powerhouse peptide to help with fat loss, lean muscle mass, improving your skin, and even improving your sleep quality. So because this peptide has so many benefits, this is why it's ranking in at number 1. And what I love so much about this peptide is that Ipamorelin is a very gentle peptide on the system to take. And I just feel like it is, I have not had a lot of people complain to me about this peptide. All of my women that take it, when they're cycling on it, when it's time to come off of it, they all get super bummed out because everybody loves Ipamorelin. I mean, as women, what are the main things we're concerned about? We all want fat loss, we all want lean muscle, and we all want to improve our skin. So Ipamorelin is going to be able to target all of those things, plus you get much better sleep quality. Now, because this is a growth hormone releasing peptide, you tend to want to take growth hormone releasing peptides at night because that is where your body's natural growth hormone production starts to happen. So I always suggest taking Ipamorelin at night, but there have been the cases where I have had a handful of women tell me that they feel like it gives them energy and they do better taking it in the morning. And if you are one of those girlies, that is completely fine. Take it in the morning. I also have it where some women like to split the dosage up and they like to take half of their dose in the morning and half the dose in the evening. That works great too. But for me personally, I'm taking my Ipamorelin at night because for me, it really helps relax my body. It helps me fall asleep. And the fact that my growth hormone production gets made at night doesn't affect me in a way that makes me more stimulant and gives me more energy. That's why I'm taking it at night. So that is why Ipamorelin is ranking in at number 1 for my growth hormone releasing peptides. Now, number 2, and with that being said, you're going to be surprised with what I'm going to say for number 2. And the reason why this peptide is ranking at number 2 because it is a great combo and a great complementary peptide to use along with your Ipamorelin. And that is going to be the peptide CJC1259 with NODAC. With NODAC is a very, very, very key importancy here because there's a difference between CJC with DAC and no DAC. And I personally am never going to recommend using CJC with DAC because that is something that you're going to have harsher side effects with. CJC with no DAC, you don't get the harsh side effects. So just to kind of explain that a little bit more is that when you have CJC with DAC in it, you actually end up tending to have a spike of the CJC release. And that can be really, really harsh. And that is where you hear some people say they had negative side effects, just such like a niacin flush or an increase in their heart rate. That is coming from the CJC with DEC. So that's why it's so important to take it with no DEC, in my opinion. So now, the reason why CJC 1259 with no deck is going to be ranking at number 2 for me is because it is going to help expand the half-life of your growth hormone production. So, which means you are going to get a steady, more sustainable release time over this with this peptide rather than getting like a harsh spike. It helps it just stay consistently boost into your system. It's also going to help again with fat loss. It's going to help with muscle recovery. It's going to help with muscle retention. It's going to help build and help maintain muscle tone while it's improving your energy levels. So this is why CJC 1259 is coming in at number 2, because it pairs very well with my number 1 ranking peptide, Ipamorelin. When you combine these two together, it is like the perfect combination because you have the stimulation of the Ipamorelin working to help your body produce its own natural growth hormone. Then you have CJC coming in, which is going to expand the half-life of the growth hormone being produced. So that is why I always like to pair these two together. You don't have to, but these are the only 2 peptides in this video that I ever pair together, which leads me into let's talk about my 3rd ranking peptide, and that is going to be Tesamorelin. Tesamorelin is a awesome peptide. But for women, a lot of women say that Tesamorelin causes them to retain a lot of water retention. Myself being one of them. I notice that anytime I do take Tesamorelin, I do retain a little bit more water. And the reason why water retention happens with this peptide is because it is the strongest growth hormone producing peptide. So sometimes, again, guys, not necessarily like stronger is always better, but there's actually nothing wrong with this peptide. It's just kind of one of the side effects. A lot of women get a lot of water retention with it. Now, this peptide is going to be targeting visceral fat, and it's going to help with metabolic health, which is amazing and so important. But this peptide is going to help with managing that stubborn abdomen fat that, I mean, all of us women hate having. So it's going to be great as a accent to being a fat burner. So it works a little bit differently from CJC and Ipamorelin in terms of the muscle growth and recovery, because this is going to be more so targeting like getting rid of that visceral stubborn fats. So this is why it's also really important to not pair this with Ipamorelin, which I see happen a lot, which I'm going to make a whole separate video on that. So stay tuned for that one. But let's get back to Tesamorelin. Tesamorelin is going to be really great because it is the highest ranking in growth hormone production. It is going to be really great if you have higher body fat percentage to lose. It's going to be really great for you to be using this peptide. Also, another great benefit, if you're over the age of 55, ladies, this is going to be a really great peptide for you to use. Not saying that you can't use the other peptides, but from what I have found working with my clients is that typically my women that are 55 and older, they actually don't get the side effects of the Tesamorelin water retention as much as my younger women do. And this is simply because as we age, our growth hormone production goes down. Therefore, when you're in that older age range category, you need a little bit more growth hormone production going on than somebody like myself who's in their 30s. So that's kind of the benefit But the reason why this peptide is ranking at number 3 is that it doesn't cross all the other check marks off the list that Ipamorelin and CJC can do. So this is going to just be mainly targeting visceral fat, whereas in CJC, Ipamorelin, they're going to help with lean muscle mass. You get the muscle recovery, you get the wonderful skin benefits that you get with Ipamorelin. So that's why this one comes down a little bit lower, but still a great peptide. I still love it and I still use it. It stays in my peptide growth hormone rotation personally. So I actually really do love this peptide. But the peptide we have ranking at number 4 is IGF-1 LR3. And the reason why this peptide is let's start off with the positive. This is a great peptide, fantastic peptide for muscle growth and tissue repair and enhancing muscle mass. But that being said, this peptide, unfortunately, you cannot stay on it as long. So typically with Ipamorelin, Tesamorelin, CJC, we can stay on those peptides for 8 weeks. IGF-1 LR3, we can really only stay on this peptide for about 4 weeks because our bodies just build up like antibody against it so quickly. So that's one of my reasons why it's coming in at number 4. But some of the great benefits that you get is that this is a great peptide if you are really focusing on building muscle mass. And I have found that there's a lot of other really great little tricks I have learned about this peptide. So let's say that you're coming off of a heavy lean out. You've just gone through, like, you've been leaning out cycle and now you want to get back into building muscle. Typically, with myself and with women that I work with, if we're on a leaning out cycle, we are going to be on a GLP-1, which everybody knows is going to help with fat loss, but it's also going to help with appetite, food noise. It's going to slow our digestion down. So therefore, our appetite has been in a very, it's been more restrictive. We're leaning out. Our calorie intake is going to be different. We're basically in a more constrictive area of consuming calories because we're in a fat loss mode. Now we're going back into a muscle building mode, and now we need to consume more calories because we want to put more muscle mass on. And we've just gone off of being on a GLP-1, which our appetites are suppressed. You have to be able, if you want to build muscle, ladies, you have got to have enough calories in your system. I see this so much happen where women are not able to build muscle because they're not consuming enough calories. Now, how IGF-1 LR3 can help with this is that one of the things it does stimulate appetite. So I notice that I do have a heavier appetite when I take this peptide, but I'm only going to be taking this peptide when I'm trying to build muscle, and I'm only going to be staying on this peptide for 4 weeks. And if I want to build muscle, I have to have more of an appetite. Therefore, and I've been on a GLP-1, therefore, like, I need a little bit boost of an appetite. My appetite should go up. This is going to be a great peptide for that, to help with that. Now, another really great thing that if you are using GLP-1s for the first time, this is a great peptide to pair if you are really struggling with getting in your calories, which is something that I get asked all the time. I don't know how I'm supposed to consume all my calories because my appetite is so suppressed. Now, pairing IGF-1 LR3 can help you a little bit because it's going to help give you a little bit more of an appetite like stimulation, but it's not going to affect the food noise. It's not going to I guess what I'm trying to say, it's not going to make the food noise trigger. It's not going to make it to where you're going to have such a heavy appetite that like it's going to counteract the GLP-1. That's not what it's going to do. It's just going to help add as a nice balance. But main thing you want to be using this peptide for is for muscle growth, muscle recovery, and muscle building. So that is why it kind of ranks in a little bit lower at a number 4. Though I love this peptide, it does rank lower because Also, too, you can't stay it on as long, and you don't get quite the amount of benefits as you do with the other peptides. So that's why IGF-1 LR3 comes in at number 4. So, and lastly, we have our last peptide, our 5th peptide, and this peptide is ranking at number 5, and that is the peptide Sermorelin. And I get asked all the time, why is Sermorelin not on the peptide cheat sheet? Well, simply because, guys, it doesn't do much. I'm just being honest. I don't think it does much. And it's basically like the lower tier of all the growth hormone peptides. So it's got a short half life. It's not effective. You don't really get the amount of fat loss or muscle gains that you do compared to Ipamorelin and CJC and all the other peptides. Like it's just not as effective. It's going to do a little bit with stimulating growth hormone, but nothing as much as the other peptides are going to do for you. So that is simply why it comes in at number 5, is because it just doesn't do much. It doesn't do much. I hope people don't come after me for saying that, but I'm just here sharing the truth. And I think that if you've tried it and it worked great for you, like, that is awesome. I would love to hear your comparisons because I have used this peptide and I can tell you what, it cannot touch what the other peptides do. Doesn't even come close. So if you want more bang for your buck, go with the Ipamorelin CJC or Tesamorelin, just being honest. So there you have it, guys. There are my rankings for 5 different growth hormone releasing peptides. Those are my honest thoughts, feedback, my experiences, my clients' experiences with them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of this ranking. If you guys want to hear more videos like this, like, comment below, put your thoughts out there. I love when you guys suggest video topics for me to do. And it's funny, sometimes a lot of you guys have been predicting my videos lately or asking me to do a video, and it's funny, like, I have already filmed it or I'm getting ready to film it. So I cannot thank you guys enough. I love hearing from you guys. So share more with me with your thoughts on what more videos you want me to talk about, whether it's peptide, if you want full on details on, fitness routines and rotations, all the things. If you want, more videos on, nutrition, more videos on hormones, like, share with me. I'm open to suggestions. And guys, if you are not already on my email list, you guys are missing out on some great information. I get asked a lot on where I get certain peptides or product reviews, and I can't share where I directly get my sources from, but I always share those in my emails. And look, I get it. Emails can be annoying when you get bombarded, and I really try not to bombard you guys so much with emails. But if you really want, like, all the top secret, like, tips and where I'm getting things from, I share a lot of that in my emails. So if you haven't already, go sign up for my email. If you guys download the Women's Peptide Cheat Sheet, that automatically puts you into my email list. So if you guys have already done that, then you're already on the list. If you haven't, go download the Women's Peptide Cheat Sheet. It adds you in directly into my email list. That way you don't miss out on anything. And I share so much. And there's also a lot of, like, polls and questions that I do over there. And those can be really fun. I get a lot of really positive feedback from you guys from that. So yeah, don't miss out on that. The emails can be very fun. There's a lot of cool things there. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for always sticking through the end videos where I talk about all my admin stuff too. I appreciate that. And as always, drop your comments below, especially if you have used these peptides, and tell me what your ranking is with these peptides. I would love to hear that. Like, put yours, whatever you feel like is your number one to, like, your least favorite if you've experimented with all of these peptides or just a few of them, let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will chat with you guys soon.